I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing.
Amen.
Makes me feel so good, I can do most anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was some fine bass. Tell us your name, sir.
I'm Doug Lebow.
Doug Lebow, welcome to the basement. That's Bassmint. In fact, if you're watching this, welcome to the basement, y'all. You know my goal is to try to interview every single last Detroit bass player from the metro area, from Michigan, from the United States, being globally. I'm never going to achieve that goal, but I'm going to have fun trying. So, Doug, thank you for that. I got to introduce the panel that's here too. On my friend hand side, tell us your name, darling.
Derwin Davis, Cleveland, Ohio.
And next to him,
Reginald Gay from Inkster, Detroit, Southfield.
all right. In fact, why I got you? What kind of bases that you got there, Mr. Davis? What kind of bases?
This is a 4-string bass mod. It has purple with gold metallic flake in it, 18-volt preamp, gold hardware.
That is awesome, Reggie. And what you playing, Mr. Reginald Gay?
Sire?
Marcus Melvin?
Yes.
Sire. Yeah, this is V5, isn't it? That's the V.
V5 4-string.
Okay.
The smoked
Roasted, man.
roasted.
I was about to say smoked turkey. I'm about to eat some.
Smoked roasted.
Tell us your name, sir, and what kind of bass that you play.
Robert Lopaka, Luckett out of Southgate. And this here is a Schecter Diamond Series Elite 5, 5-string. And it's got EMG pickups on it. And I just had it, just picked it up from Michael Harrington. Shout out yesterday. He gave it this beautiful look that it has. He made sure that all the pots were working properly. And man, it sounds wonderful.
Oh, yeah. That's
Mark is the man.
Willie Smith student.
Your turn.
Roast yourself.
You know how I keep together.
So ghetto, I tell you.
All right, so Steve, tell us your name and what kind of bass you play.
My name is Steve Burkhalter, and this is a Sadowski 4-string. It's an Alder Rosewood. My only Alder Rosewood Sadowski. I've had all the other ones I've had with Nash Maple, but I kind of like it. It's steel strings, which I usually use nickels on my basses, but I like the steel on this one. It's a little different, more aggressive, a little punchier, and it's the hum cancelers, and all my other Sadowskis have got the single coils.
That is awesome, and thank you for hosting these. We're actually in Steve's basement. That's Bassmint.
Oh, one other thing, both of us have got Bass Day t-shirts on.
Yes, I've noticed that. And next to Steve, hold on, give me a second here. Tell us your name, sir, and what kind of bass you play.
Carl Hightaker. This is a Carl Hightaker bass.
Oh,
all right. Nice.
Oh yeah, I
Built
remember
it
that.
back in. I built 4 basses. This is the last one I built. Before I left the company where I built it, so that's why I didn't build anymore. So yeah, it's the hard rock maple neck. It's got a figure maple stringer. It has African Movingi top on it, and African Blackwood fretboard, Bartolini pickups, EMG preamp, and also made the African Blackwood knobs for it. A little glow in the dark.
And the space in between.
Yeah, so this is one I play all the time.
The space in between the strings is awesome too. You got
18
nice,
millimeter spacing.
that is nice.
Aircraft aluminum bridge. I CNC cut that. The whole bass was CNC cut. I designed the entire bass in CATIA V5.
Okay,
It's beautiful.
thank you. Now let's go to my plug hand side.
love the fact that all these bass. Tell us your name, Earl.
Okay. My name is Earl Davis, aka Max Proud on YouTube.
What in the heck is that you got?
What is this? Okay. This is the Anaconda Ultra J Essence Base 5 from Mario, England, UK. Independent bass player who is now making his own basses over here. His name is Andrew Taylor Cummings. And yeah, this is it.
Okay, all right, good. And then next to him, tell us your name, sir, and what kind of bass you got.
I'm Steve Teufel from Harbor Beach, Michigan. This is a 2020 Sadowski Metroline, one of the early production German Metrolines there. Jazz band.
Okay, and next to him, tell us your name, sir.
Don Max, and I have the classic music lens.
I can't see it.
Stingray.
Stingray, music
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and next to him, tell
Mine
us
was
your name.
green.
Pope Troubles, Pope Star, Pope Alicious.
What kind of bass is that you got?
This is Z-Line. I just had it made. And it's Pope-tastic.
Yes, I'm still down.
That's a beauty.
Yes.
I love the fact that you wear all of that orange. What's your favorite color?
Green.
That kills me with him because he loves orange, but his favorite color is green. Next to him, tell us your name.
Morgan Garrett. I have a Squire Bronco.
A Squire Bronco. Let me take a look at it.
Beautiful.
Another bass player in the building. And next to her, tell us your name.
Titus McClary.
Yeah.
Playing a Fender Jazz bass.
Okay, that is awesome. And Doug.
How many got people behind you?
Oh,
You got Cynthia. Just walked in.
who?
Cynthia just walked in. Right?
Cynthia Willis?
Yeah.
That's correct.
He said
One of y'all gotta get it. No, I'm sorry.
She's coming.
I'm coming.
Yeah, come over here. I got a seat right next to me. Is Chris with you?
No, Brit's with me.
Oh, my girl, Brittany is with you.
Hey, y'all.
That's another great bass player. Come on in. Hey, Cynthia. Ooh.
Oh, and Johan's behind you too. Step over into the light.
Yeah, come on, Johan.
Yo, step into the light.
Wait.
Into the light. Step into the light, man.
Yo.
Well,
Over there?
no, right in front of the camera.
Let me check.
Well, just for a second, I want to acknowledge you as
Right, you're here. Keep stepping.
I'm sorry. What is that you got in your hand?
I can control it.
Just notice it.
So what's your name? What is that
Johan
you got?
Varner from Akron, Ohio. Sterling.
Could you repeat your name again?
Johan Varner. Just call me Yo.
Okay, and you got a music band, Sterling Music?
No, it's just a regular Sterling. Not a music.
Okay, and next,
It's the lower brand.
alright,
But it sounds good.
okay, and next to
Music
me,
man too.
and next to me,
Next to you.
she just said hi, but,
Took off the silk.
tell us your name and what kind of bass you got there.
My name is Cynthia Willis. This is 1980 something Carlo Ravelli.
Oh, yeah.
They don't make anymore.
That is awesome. Look, I'm sorry, Doug, that I have to introduce the whole panel. And the reason why I do that is because I thank everybody for coming out.
Yeah.
I really appreciate everybody coming. Thank you all for coming. Anybody watching this, you play bass, you love bass, you're welcome to come to the basement. You're worthy. I don't care if you just started playing yesterday. You are worthy to come and hang out with us in the basement.
Absolutely.
Like me.
And all you heavy hitters, this ain't corny what we doing. This is show up. Be here or be square.
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah, I try to make square and here where I'm. You know what I mean? So look, Doug.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to the basement and a new friend of mine. He just moved to Detroit 3 years ago.
Well, I kind of hid for a couple of years, you know.
Okay, so look, my first question to you is, when did you start playing the bass?
And why? Well, I started being interested in. My grandfather was a jazz musician. He played in Paul Whiteman's band in the 20s and 30s, and he was always trying to get me to listen to the low end. And
I'm 67 years old, so I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and you know, I was listening to the Beatles, and the Beatles made me want to sing. And then I started listening to James Taylor, and James Taylor made me want to play acoustic guitar. And then I went on a trip with my cousins, and we stopped at a record store, and my cousin bought 2 albums. And I didn't know either of these bands, but I bought the albums anyway. One of them was a James Taylor album. The other one was the Guess Who. Remember the Guess Who? And Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman. But there was a bass player. You talk about unsung heroes. There was a bass player on that album, a guy named Jim Cale. Anybody remember Jim Cale? There was on the second side of the album, there was an instrumental. It was called 969, The Oldest Man. You remember this song? It starts off kind of a shuffle. It's like a and then he does these fills. And I was like, what is that guy doing? And I stopped listening to any of the other songs on the album, and I just kept listening to that song over and over and over again. And the thing about it is, in the middle of the song, it changes to a cool jazz. And if you know the keyboard player from Burton Cummings, also a flute player. And in the middle of the song, it turned into this kind of cool jazz thing, and Burton Cummings was playing this flute thing. And meanwhile, underneath, Jim Cale is going from this shuffle thing. He goes, and I was like, jazz and rock in one song. And I was hooked. And so we had a music store. I lived in Westport, Connecticut at the time, and we had a music store in Norwalk, the city that was over the next place. And I just went to the guy and I said, I need a bass. I need a bass. And he had a Fender Music Master, which is like that Bronco, which was like this bass except with a single pickup. And I had a buddy who was into basses, and he had a Gibson humbucking pickup. And he dug out the bass and he put this Gibson humbucking pickup in it for me. Wow. And I never let it out of my hands for the rest of high school. And so that's how I got interested in bass. I started then back listening to Paul McCartney, and all, because I didn't recognize that what he was doing was playing the bass for a while, because it was so melodic that I didn't even realize that what he was doing was holding down the bottom end with melodies. And so that's when I started, probably around 1971, I started going back to the Beatles stuff from like Revolver and the White Album and stuff on, where he was starting to like record his bass parts afterwards and compose them so that they, and I just read a thing that said he did that because he realized that AM radio had such a small frequency that he wanted them to stick out where they wouldn't be heard down the bottom, so he put them in the middle and played them melodically. So that's kind of where I started getting into the bass. Well, high school, 14, 15.
Okay, so what is that you have in your hand?
This is a made in Japan Fender Mustang bass. It's got the exact same neck on it as my Marcus Miller J bass, made in the same Japanese factory except shorter. And because you guys are bassists, I'm a music director who plays the bass, and because I've spent 90% of my career playing other people's music that I didn't write and that didn't create the groove, and my hands, and I'm only 5'7", and my hands are really small, so I've stuck with short scale basses. I do have a 64 Jazz, an original 64 Jazz that I found at a yard sale that I've kept all these years. It never comes out of the house, but all my basses have been short scales, and I also just got a Detroit company, a Reverend.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Reverend?
Yes, sir.
And I
Joe
bought this
Naylor.
beautiful hollow body Reverend Dub King. It for like $1,000. It's got like luthier quality everything on it. And what I like about that one is it comes with a blend knob. I like a blend knob with
If
a.
you ever want me to borrow that other fender, let me know.
If I ever want you to
All right, okay. So look for y'all. I am honored for this guy to show up in the basement. I was introduced to him by another Detroit-based legend, Eddie Watkins.
Oh yeah.
My very dear friend.
He played with the Funk Brothers back in the day. He played with the Crusaders. Just to name a few. We're talking about my man Eddie Watkins,
Eddie
who
Watkins
introduced
Jr.
us together. And I'm honored that you're here. I'm gonna just
And hold on, and he plays the same bass.
Well, Eddie was the one who
Talked you into it.
who talked me into
And
it.
that's why I got mine.
Yeah.
But I got a 5.
Yeah.
okay. So look, I got some other questions, but because bass players are humble, I have to do this acknowledgement. Doug, the man right here in front of us, is an Emmy award-winning producer of music and videos, composer, arranger, music supervisor, and music engraver with over 350 feature films, TV, movie, television series, recordings, and publishing credits. Doug has been under contract since 2008 with Disney Publishing worldwide, and as a producer, composer, songwriter, and recording artist. He has written, produced, and recorded more than 150 songs with Disney's Disney English division, Disney Junior, and the Disney Channel, and has produced, edited, sound designed, and scored more than 50 audio storybooks for Disney worldwide. Doug also served as 5-year, 635 episode stint as the music director on General Hospital,
Wow.
ABC TV's longest running daytime drama. And I used to watch the show. Came on at 3 o'clock here back in the day. After 50 years of living in the greater Los Angeles area, in 2021, Doug, the word is relocated to Clinton Township, Michigan, with his wife Sharon, and a licensed marriage and family therapist. A graduate of Grove School of Music with diplomas in jazz, arranging, TV, composition. Doug's affiliation and members with the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, that's ATAS, the Society of Composers and Lyricists, that's SCL, the American Society of Music Arrangers and Composers, that's ASMAC, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Everybody know what that is. ASCAP. Mm-hmm. My compositions are with
BMI.
No, ASCAP.
ASCAP? Okay.
Member organization.
He's also a member of the American Federation of Musicians, Professional Musicians, Local 47 LA, and the Detroit Federation of Music. See, we're local number 5. And that is also, the man came here and became a member. And the Recording Musicians Association of Los Angeles, that's RMALA. Doug is also the president and CEO of Lebow Music and Multimedia, a U.S.-based multimedia production company which creates all manners of music, video, streaming media, engraved music, and instructional design media for a wide variety of industries, which is, we got to talk about that a little bit. Doug is considered his greatest blessing to be the universe's continual support of, wait, hold up, let me redo that. Edit. Doug considers his greatest blessing to be the universe's continual support of his creative expression, allow him to support his family while feeding his spirit. Okay, now it's a long a set of accomplishments, but I wanted to read that because you weren't going to tell me all of that.
No.
And I appreciate you for coming, and I hope somebody engages in some of these other jobs that pays his living that I had no clue that these jobs even existed. You know, in the music industry, there's all these little jobs that pays well and help you feed your family that a lot of us don't engage in, and we should.
Especially like singing.
Okay, so I'm gonna try not to ramble, but thank you for coming to the basement. I appreciate that. My next question I'd like to ask you is, you mentioned a little bit, but who are some of your favorite bass players, sir?
Well, of course, like Victor Wooten, Marcus Miller, Lee Sklar, who's a friend of mine from LA, is I think one of the most unsung heroes. He's been on how many thousand albums and singles and tours with everybody from James Taylor to everybody. You know, Phil Collins. Yep. So Lee Sklar is one of my favorite bass players, and then there was this other guy, this other unsung hero that helped me as an arranger more than anybody with this classic 1970s song by Blues Image. Remember this song called Ride Captain Ride?
Yeah.
Right? So in this particular song...
Who was the singer on that song?
I don't remember the singer's name, but the bass player was a guy named Malcolm
I think I
Jones.
played with that singer.
And the entire bass part is on upbeats. You know, it goes like... And he's like... It's all on the upbeats. And I thought to myself, here's a bass player who never plays a downbeat and has the grooviest groove of, you know, so that was, so that guy, Malcolm, I looked him up on Wikipedia. He doesn't even have his own page, but talks about him as part of that band, Blues Image, which was a Miami-based band that had a couple of hits in the 70s. But Eddie Watkins Jr., my dear friend.
Another Detroit bass player.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
He was the one who introduced me to... I called him up and I said, I've been living here 3 years and I don't know anybody. Who shall I talk to? And he gave me Mr. Big Ives' telephone number and I ended up here.
I do kind of know a lot of bass players.
I used to play with the singer. I played with the singer now.
Look, I ain't humble. I know a whole bunch of
Danny Carell.
But look, check this out.
Remember Danny Carell?
Next question is, do you play any other instruments besides the bass guitar?
You know, it's funny, but I say that my main instrument is the studio itself. I produce. My main job is not as a bass player. My main job is as a producer and a songwriter for Disney. And anybody ever hear of a television show on the Disney Channel called Choo Choo Soul?
I don't watch Disney. I'm too old.
Okay, well, I've written a lot of songs with Genevieve Goings, whose show is Choo Choo Soul, and she tours a lot. And you know, I've been a jack of all trades, but if I had to say what my main instrument is that I am a very, very fast and fluent transcriber of music and engraver of music. And I've made so much of my living, and I've been able to be a bass player, not because of my skills as a bass player, because all you guys are really good bass players, but because I get hired as a music director because I can hear anything and write it down and make beautiful charts. And that has been probably my greatest, and I was saying to Morgan earlier, I don't really know how to make a living as a musician. Learn how to write music down. People will pay you a lot of money to write it down. So as soon as I got out of music school, the Grove School of Music, my wife and I were going to a church in Los Angeles called Agape, which was a great New Thought church, and the music director there was a woman named Ricky Byers. And I noticed that the great band she had like Ndugu Chancellor on drums, and Charles Rocket was playing, But she would come in with new songs every week, and they were just lyric sheets with some chord symbols on them. And the guys were all standing around behind the piano on Sunday morning at like 10 o'clock before service, trying to figure out to write something down so that it would come to. And they were all great players. And so I went to her and said, I think I can help you out a little bit. And I started writing charts for them, and they never had to rehearse, because a good chart and good players go together. Like that's what people want, is a good chart, right? They want a good roadmap. Nobody wants to make a mistake. I mean, have you ever noticed, like in a big band session where somebody goes to play a soli and nobody else's parts say soli on it, and he stands up to play and nobody else is standing up, so he sits down, right? Because somebody forgot to mention to him that you're playing solo and everybody else is just kind of sitting there like this. So good charts, that's really probably my main instrument for the last 35 years, has been producing in the studio and writing good charts. I've probably done for like Hal Leonard, Warner Brothers, Cherry Lane, like, I don't know, like 300 songbooks. The books that people buy when they buy an album, and then they go to the music store to get the songbook that goes with it. Before those albums are released, they just give me the album and say, songbook. And so I transcribe the songs and put them on. I used to do it in Composer's Mosaic, and then I did it in Sibelius for many years. I'm not a Finale user, and now I use one called Dorico. And
for those who don't know, these are software programs.
Music notation.
That help you crank out the
sheet music.
The sheet music composition.
Right. That's really my main instrument all these years. And the reason that I've gotten to be a music director who gets to play bass, and to be perfectly honest with you, with the respect, and I know the whole we're not worthy thing and everything, but I became a bass player as a music director because it was probably the place I could do the least harm, you know, because I always endeavor to be the worst person in any band that I hire. So
yeah, okay, now that's interesting. If you the worst one in the band, that means the band is awesome.
That's the whole point.
Right, that's the whole point of it.
That's right. It's the least to you.
So that's awesome. And Doug, I didn't want to keep you. You know that. Right. I'm lying. Okay, I'm lying.
Does he always say that?
Yes.
He says that every time.
But I do want to know, allow the panel to ask if anybody have any questions for this fine bass player.
First one. You said a blend knob. What is that?
A blend knob?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, like on a jazz bass where you have two pickups,
Yeah.
and you have a volume for one and a volume for the other.
Yeah.
As a music director, that never worked for me.
Okay.
Because in between songs, if the pastor's talking or whatever, you got to turn down.
It's on the table. Back
And you got to turn, and then you got to return on the two volume knobs to get to the same spot
Yes.
that you were at before. So
Right.
what I did was I had it switched. I had the second, I had both of them wired in line with one volume knob, and then a blend knob, which is like a balance on a stereo. So you can
Okay.
turn it towards the neck pickup, or you can turn it towards the bridge pickup, so that it's so that when the song is over in church and it's time to be quiet, you just turn down your bass. And when you turn it back up, you still have the same balance between the two pickups.
Okay.
Blend knob.
Great question. Anybody else have any questions for this fine bassist?
I've never been a really good sight reader. Do you have any tips on sight reading?
The only thing about sight reading, and I'm not a great sight reader either. I mean, and I've played in lots of sessions in Los Angeles where they put stuff in front of you, and I was always, since I'm an orchestrator, I would always call the arranger or orchestrator beforehand and say, can you send me the charts a day early so I can play through them? Because, you know, I think my most important advice about reading music is if you can't play it slow, you can't play it fast.
That's right.
So I would say never be intimidated by anything, you know, and as a church musician, you know, we finished church on Sunday, and then the first thing I would do Sunday afternoon would go, what do I got to play next Sunday? And pull them out. Yes. And you know, if it was, and it's always the same thing. Pick a song by like Paul McCartney as an example, like Day Tripper, right? You know, we go 183 beats a minute, right? But you got to start it off on Sunday afternoon at bum ba da da dee da. Do da 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 da. By Wednesday, you don't suck. By Thursday, you're almost good. By Friday, you're not scared.
Yeah.
By Saturday, you got it, and by Sunday, you look like you've been playing that way all your life, right?
Yeah.
Is that the truth?
That's
Pretty much.
Right?
That's how it works.
You know, I never used to, Ivan and I talked about this. I never used to be one for tablature. But I have found that when I have to learn stuff fast,
charts.
I make, not chord charts, but tablature. You know, I would make an arrangement that has the bass part in manuscript, but also put the tablature underneath it so that if I had to quickly remember where I want, because we all know that fingering is the thing. You know, how you get from here to here with the melody in between so that you're not in the wrong end of the spectrum when it's time to do the next riff. So I think going slow, and there's only one way to do it, is to practice. Practice sight reading, and not give up on reading. Because, and the second thing is, to make you a better reader, the best thing that makes you a better reader is being a better writer. Listening to stuff and writing it down. I used to do it with pencil and paper, and I gave that up about 15 years ago to go directly into the computer, but not in real time. In step time. And I learned a trick. It was called the Swiss Jazz School trick of notation, which is, this is a bar of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Yes.
And you can actually see the melody. So if you got like a big band melody, like ba 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 do da, you can see that. Ba 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 do da. You can see 2 quarters and 4 eighths, and then write it down. Melody pitch is finite. We can all hear a pitch and go to either the bass or the keyboard and find the pitch. But what screws people up in writing down is, where is it, the stuff that's up in the air? And so this is the way I learned, and this is the way I taught people how to use this Swiss Jazz School method. Da 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 ba do da. So that can be 1, 2, 3, 4. That can also be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That can also be 1 E and a 2 E and a half a bar. So that's the way. Becoming a better reader really requires becoming more fluent with rhythm. And the best way to be more fluent with rhythm is to write stuff down. In fact, that song that I told you about that I loved from the American Woman, the 969, The Oldest Man, when I got to the Grove School of Music and they really started forcing me to write stuff down, that first weekend I was in that school, I went, you know what? I'm going to write a chart of that 969, The Oldest Man. And that's when I first wrote down the guitar parts. I wrote down the piano part. I wrote down the bass part. I wrote down the drum part. It took me a month the first time. Now a chart like that takes me about an hour. But the first time it took me a month to do it. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Patience. Practice. And start slow and be patient with yourself. Success is on the other side of the patience.
That's right.
It's true. You know what I'm saying? So
I got another question. Quick question. So when you go in to play, how do you decide which is the bass you're going to use? Or is that the bass you always use?
This is the bass that I have played and toured with the United States, China, Australia. This is the bass I've played. This bass with Lebow 760 flat wounds. That's my sound.
Okay. Flat wound.
Pardon me?
Flat wound.
Flat wound. Right. And I'm so in awe of all of you guys who can thumb and pluck, and I've never been one. I'm always a fingerstyle player.
Now, have you ever used round wounds?
I did use round wounds early on, but the day that I discovered flat wounds, I never went back. And I never went back.
Now, the other question is, do you own a 5?
I don't anymore own a 5.
But you did.
I did. I bought a Fender Horizon 5 about 10 years ago, and I went on a tour in China where I was
with whom?
Her name was Meow. She was Meow, not that kind of meow. M-I hyphen M-Y-O-W, meow. She was a poet and Aboriginal Chinese singer and poet, and I was her music director, and I put together a band of a keyboard, bass, 3-hand percussionist, and a vibes player. And we toured around China with her original Mongolian ethnic music.
Wow.
And when I showed up at the first rehearsal, I brought this bass and that 5-string Fender Horizon, also with 760 flats on it. And when I played on the lowest string, she said, "That really moves me." On the B, down on the B string. She said, "That's the one I want you to take to China with you." So that was the only other time, but always otherwise. And the reason I was saying is I'm only 5'7", and my hands are small, and 90% of my career I've been playing the arrangements that you guys all originated on the recordings that you did with your big hands.
Well,
and so
a secret is Victor Wooten's hands the same size as yours.
yeah, well,
So I play.
but Victor Wooten's talent ain't the same size.
Man,
Victor Wooten, and I know Victor from the NAMM show.
Right, so you all got the same.
Oh.
In fact, you all are the same height.
Well,
You all the same height. And
but then again, gentlemen, as I say, I'm not a full-time bass player. I play the studio and the
see,
transcription.
that's when you can tell humbleness. I just play at the bass.
Well, it's really true.
But you play. You're
I
a
play,
player.
but
You're a player.
I didn't
No.
play for a couple of years, and I bled to get back in shape. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and that's crazy. No one has ever answered their favorite instrument is transcribing and which it is an instrument.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abilities
Absolutely.
instrument.
Let me tell you a funny story. So there's a church in Denver, a big religious science church called the Mile High Church, and the music director there was a former student of mine, very good musician. They have a 100-voice choir. They always have about a dozen musicians who filter through their rhythm section. And they asked me to do an arrangement of a B.B. Winans arrangement of
Another Detroit
player of Amazing Grace. And what was really, really necessary was a very good lead sheet of the arrangement, because the singer knew the song. It wasn't B.B. Winans who was going to sing it. The singer knew the song, but the rhythm section needed to be able to really nail what the original rhythm section recording was. And I had been approached by this company in England several times to use them as a subsource. Like when I got too busy to do an arrangement, and I was very busy with a project for Disney at the time, and I said, "Okay, fine. Here's this B.B. Winans tune. Send me. I'll pay you the $150. Send me what you got." And so the tune starts off in 4/4 with a swung 4/4. Do 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 do. Swung in 4/4. But then as soon as the singer starts, it goes into 3/4.
oh,
All right. Yeah. Anybody know this arrangement of Amazing Grace by B.B. Winans?
Nope.
And whoever transcribed it for them did not even catch that the introduction and the turnaround was swung 4/4, and tried to notate it from there with triplets. It was unreadable. It was unreadable. And I hired these guys because I had no time. And when they sent it back to me and it needed to be at the rehearsal, I had to retranscribe the whole thing because, and all I did was do a lead sheet. I made notations for drum hits and bass hits and stuff like that, so that everybody, but it was just a lead sheet, and they played it down perfectly. But I tell you, this guy, whoever it was who transcribed it, it didn't occur to him. He tried to put it into 3 with triplets, and it was unreadable. I sent it to the client. I said, "You want to read this?" He went, "What the heck is that?" And then I sent him my version. He goes, "Oh, thank God, this I can read." You know, so it's just a complex set of instructions, but it's got to be the right set of instructions.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for this fine bass player? Okay. So look.
I actually did.
Okay.
I really like what you said about having another skill, because I think for what I've seen, the people I know who made it biggest in the music industry, and I've been blessed to play with a couple, didn't make it on their instrumental skills.
Alone.
Alone. I have a friend who's really good jazz piano player, and he used to play at our church, and he was in college when he was playing at our church. But he had another skill. He was a MIDI timecode guy.
Right.
He could write MIDI timecode.
Right.
He ended up producing Katy Perry's Super Bowl show.
There you go.
Okay, and he's now one of the biggest music directors in the industry because there aren't many guys who can write MIDI timecode.
Right. You know, this is the thing. It was actually my conducting teacher at the Grove School of Music, a guy named Jack Fearman. And he was the many years conductor and music director for Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. Remember Steve and Edie from the 60s?
Right.
And he used to tour the country with just a briefcase of their charts, and he would turn every orchestra in Oklahoma and South Dakota and Rhode Island into a Hollywood orchestra with one rehearsal and he had the ability, he used to say, for string players, meaning like violin and cello and everything, time is a magazine. Meaning time is the magazine. They don't count, right?
They don't count.
So he could actually conduct the strings with one hand in one tempo and everybody else with another hand in another tempo and make them all play together. And he used to say, and this is what I was saying to Morgan before, is you want to make a living as a musician, wear as many hats as you can wear and do as many things. So that's why I also learned when I was doing General Hospital, I was a music director on General Hospital for 5 years, I watched all the video editors edit the show. And when I got out of that show after 5 years, somebody hired me to produce a karate video for their karate studio. So I called up one of my buddies from General Hospital and I said, will you come and I'm going to shoot this on cameras like Big Ive is shooting, and I'm going to shoot it on 3 cameras, and then will you edit it for me? He said, do it yourself. You've been sitting with us watching this all this time we've been scoring the show the last 5 years. You know how to edit video. Get Final Cut Pro and edit it yourself. So I did.
Wow.
So that's the thing is, as many jobs as there are in the music industry is as many ways as someone. But I tell you, the job that's made me the most money, and I have 2. My son graduated from the University of Michigan debt free, and my other son is a full-time FedEx driver in Ventura, California. And we don't have a mortgage, and the job that I have made the most consistent money at in my entire career is being able to make beautiful sheet music. And listen, right now, this will kill you, but I got hired by this woman in California who's got a DMA, a Doctor of Music Arts. She teaches cello, but she's writing a PhD thesis that's already contracted to be a book on viola da gamba. Viola was the precursor of the cello. It's a fretted 6-string like cello that you play. And she hired me to take 600 pages of handwritten viola da gamba music from the 1700s and put it in the computer so that the publisher, Dover Publishing, can put it out as a book. That has nothing to do with playing live music, but I have made more money being with my relationship to written and printed sheet music than anything else I've done in my entire career.
You hear that, folks? That is an awesome
music literacy.
Yes, that is awesome. So look, Doug, man, I'd like to thank you for showing up, and I admire your career. And if I wanted to keep following you and learning from you, how do we follow? Do you have social media? Website?
You know, it's funny because I have done my absolute best to stand in the back and not be noticed all these years. That's my interpretation of the music director's job is stand closest to the drummer in the back and pick the songs and make sure that everybody sounds good and don't anybody look at me. And so, in all honesty, no. If you want to know stuff that I do, look at like Disney Junior, the Disney Junior YouTube channel. I've written a lot of those songs. Look at the Disney Channel shows that are on the Disney Channel. I've written a lot of those and produced a lot of those songs. I don't sing on them. because I have a partner who's a fantastic, well-known Disney personality, Genevieve Goings, who had her own show, Choo Choo Soul, for many years, and now she still tours and does a lot of that material and everything. But no, I tell you what, though, if any of you have any gigs where you need a chart, I'm always happy and available to take anything that's recorded and make an accurate, playable, something that will save your life. And here's a last funny story about that. So this friend of mine, she came to me she said, I'm going on tour of about a dozen churches, and I have 3 songs that I want to do in all these different churches. And I said, okay. So she gave me the songs and I made the charts. She came back from the tour and she said, you know, some of those church musicians, they don't like 4-page charts. They don't want to turn pages. I said, really? She said, yeah, some of them recopied out the chord symbols and stuff like that, and then they made mistakes. I said, oh, well, you should have just said, play the chart. Are you getting paid? If you're getting paid, play the chart.
As written.
Play it as it's written. So anyway, a friend of ours named Faith Rivera was leaving LA to move home to Hawaii, and she did a big concert. And this singer-songwriter, Patricia Bahia, the band was all the band from this Agape church in Los Angeles. Great, all pro players. And the guy, Ben, who was the keyboard player, leaned over to her and said, Patricia, we got time for one more song. Have you got another song that we didn't rehearse? And she said, well, I got a chart. He said, who did the chart? She said, it's from Doug Lebow. He said, oh, good. And put it on, and everybody went, oh, thank God, it's a Doug Lebow chart. So, you know, I'm not worthy, you guys, but I tell you one thing that doesn't lie. A good chart that plays down does not lie. And a chart that you can hand to people who don't have time to practice and can still give a good rendition of the tune doesn't lie. And that's, I think, the greatest piece of information I can give anybody is write good, clean charts, and everybody will get to play their part.
Okay, so how, you didn't answer my question.
What was your question?
My question is, how do we follow you? You have a Facebook?
I am on Facebook, Doug Lebow, and I have my own website, lebowmusic.com, which has some examples of the stuff I've written and sung and sheet music and stuff like that.
Email?
Doug at lebowmusic.com.
Okay, that's what I was asking for.
www.lebowmusic, LEBOWMUSIC.com.
That is awesome, man. I hope that these bass players around the world take a peek at your work. Is there anything that you would like to say in closing before you play us out?
Yes. I'm so grateful to finally know some other good musicians, because a couple of garage bands tried to recruit me and they were so amateurish and horrible that I ended up calling the union and said, save my life. And I called Eddie Watkins Jr. and I said, save my life. I need to know some good musicians that I can play with, that I can hang with, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. I've been living here because my wife is from Windsor, and we moved here to spend time with her family, and I don't know anybody. You guys are my only friends in Detroit. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so with that said, exchange phone numbers.
Oh, I will, yeah.
And network. So I appreciate you for coming to hang out with us in the basement.
Thank you.
As BASSMINT. So why don't you just play us out, man? What you got for us?
What?
I said, do that song.
That song? I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing.
Amen.
Makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God in paupers and kings. We're all precious, no one less or more. We all got the same treasure in store. That's why I'm loving every living thing. Sing it with me. I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing.
Yeah.
Makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. One more time on that last one. Makes me feel so good, I can do most anything.
Yeah.